everybody, welcome back to hashtag the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host Lex, coming at you straight from the heart where the talk is real and the vibe is always live, like I like to say. For any show requests, feedback, or anything under the sun, reach out to us at Real Double Dose channel at yandex.com. That's yandex.com. And don't forget to check out our wonderful past experts, well, guest experts, and different conversations we have, or just different little postings we do at www.blogspot.com. And that's basically realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com. I don't know why I just said that, but I did. Anyways, we're here for that. Check out always www.realdoubledosechannel.com, and as well as spirit and mind elevation.com, which we see you have. And those analytically, we just don't want to just count out those who haven't been, but we do see you. Google and other platforms give us that threshold to be able to see you wonderful numbers of people coming in there and spending time and doing stuff. So we see the activity. Thank you for just checking it out, being a part of it. Even if it's just something you can kind of get to resonate in your soul, that's what matters. So from Spreaker to Deezer, Google Cast, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, SoundCloud. I can keep going. Spreaker, TuneIn, Stitcher, Giovanni. Yeah, pretty much, thank you for tuning in with us. Thank you for being loyal and loving. And we want to say shout out to all the countries. Yes, we've been saying them, from Germany to France to Canada, beyond the USA. We got you, baby. And all the things going on for these beautiful countries that surround the world. Venezuela, Colombia, let's get it. We got Mexico up in here. Yes, we do. We see you. All right, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, all of them that keep coming on. Australia, yes, we see it. Turkey, Zimbabwe, yes, we see you. Nambia, we see you. Yes, the Congo, we see you. And thank you. You're blessed beyond blessed. And I wanted to give that. But this is something here where basically Hector is on here with me. He's just being low key right now. Because
I was waiting for my introduction.
Your introduction. There's no introduction for someone.
I act like a stranger.
You are the intro, so you don't have to worry about introduction. But no, I mean, you feel free to speak. But yeah, he's on here because he's going to roll out what this is going to be when him and I come together. Now, we're going to have conversations in between. I might be a special guest on his episodes if you haven't checked it out yet and you're new to it. And those who, drum roll. There you go. If you haven't checked it out yet, and I see that a lot of you have, and that is HVH, which is Heck versus Hell, for the truth he tells. Now, he has skipped some Fridays. He's supposed to be consistent on that, but we'll let that go right now because life happens. But yeah, every Friday you can tune in before. We typically go before 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But remember, Saturday will come in because it is something for you to have fruit for the spirit as well. But it is every Friday before 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be looking out for that. But typically we can release it between 2 to 3 or sometimes between 2 to 5. But you have it. We see your downloads and all your support. But yeah, Heck, why don't you get them into what this is going to be called moving forward, so we can give this is just a little intro, just a little taste tester right now.
A little teaser,
a little launch pad taste tester. You might have several minutes, you might have 20 minutes, we might just boom, we'll know what it is. But yeah,
we might just go for an hour. No,
yeah. Okay, you would love that. I would love that too if I didn't have just to be FYI before you buy, they say. I'm a little more stuffy right now because I had heard some good messaging of what happened with some loved ones that passed away that were really close to me. So, Heck had to walk me through that, and I poured out my heart in a way where I had to let this go because it is creating anxiety and panic. So if you guys are suffering with that, I am going to have that masterclass that Angela had told a group of you about. I know everyone doesn't know, I know, but you have to wait for the signing list to be open for the group testers that we do and the beta where people can have firsthand on what's going on before it's released. We'll have that opening back up. Just email us at realdoubledosechannel@yandex.com and we'll see what Angela can do with that. But yeah, it's something to, get the juices flowing. But anyway, without further ado, Heck, let's bring us in.
Welcome back, RDC familians. Thank you. Well, today, thank you for that beautiful introduction.
Well, thank you.
Needed. But yeah,
Appreciate
so
that.
this is a good conversation, and we've been wanting to have this conversation for a long time now, actually. This has been back since over a year ago, I believe. And it's just something that is very good topic of conversation. And I remember actually telling one of the people I used to mess with, someone I used to be really close with. I told him the same. I asked him the question, and the conversation, to give you, the title, it's ignorant bliss. Now, yes, that is an oxymoron. That's like saying a roaring whisper, right? It doesn't really make sense all the way, but it's something that if you look at it and begin to break it down, it makes a lot of sense. And I asked him, I wanted to see where he was at mentally and how far along he was, because I know I was very misplaced. So I did a little test, a little tester. And I asked him, I'm like, do you think ignorance is bliss? And he didn't even know what the heck I was talking about. I don't think he even knew what bliss meant. So yeah, that was a conversation that I couldn't even have with him. But if you begin to look at it, and what
Sorry,
is ignorance? Right?
I tried to hold that in. Okay, I had to give my synopsis. My bad. My bad. Okay,
Well,
but
what
don't
is
don't forget to
ignorance,
tell them
right?
about the new mastermind that we are too. Don't forget that, heck. But yeah,
This,
yeah,
yeah,
go in
this is a preview of that new mastermind. Actually, thank you for reminding me. This
there.
is Truth Seekers Alliance, TSA, not security, right? Not no airport security, but TSA, Truth Seekers Alliance. Okay, so we are just bringing it back. We love those acronyms. We love those abbreviations, and making it. Well, what is it called? Acronyms. That's right, right? I believe that's right. Well,
As far
we
as
got
that go,
MDS.
I have a mouse control problem. I don't know why my light keeps flickering. And I want to clear my throat or something. I just don't
Happens,
want to deal with it. Not,
happens,
and then it
happens.
takes 20 minutes just for me to read. I don't know. It's a new battery
Yeah.
and everything, but yeah, it might be called an acronym. I think so.
Well, whatever it's called, we got the RDDC, we got S&M, we got Triple E plus 3, we got FDS, we got SOB, we got TAGR, TWB. Like, we just love these acronyms. So now we have TSA. Okay, so that's True Seekers Alliance. And we're going to focus on basically coming together and getting a little bit more into the more foundational, and bringing people on that share also their perspectives. Okay, so it's not gonna be, it's gonna be more so, I guess, like you could say maybe a hot seat. Nah, not a hot seat, because we got a different hot seat, right? It would be more so like a coming together, a communionship, where we'll just start going off of certain things that we need to have conversations off of. Like, we had a really good one actually before we even introduced this. So this is the introduction. But we had a really good conversation beforehand that was basically about the beauty of darkness. Ooh, got to give you a little teaser of that one too, a teaser within a teaser. And yeah, so we already have some of those episodes ready to go for you, and we just got to give the intro the right way. So this is a True Seekers Alliance. This is a preview of Ignorant Bliss. What is ignorance, though? Let me ask you, do you know what ignorance is? Because for a long time, I didn't know the difference between ignorance and arrogance.
Truth Seekers Mastermind. Okay. Definition of ignorance.
Here's the definition of ignorance: lack of knowledge or information.
All right. So that's
Lack
simple then.
of
And then
knowledge.
the little I like to put that on there so people can hear their AI feeling,
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
But it
I
says
like the
he
vibe.
acted in ignorance of basic procedures, right? And someone else says, what is the best definition of ignorance? Lack of knowledge, understanding, or information about something. Ignorance about public ignorance about the disease or still cause concern or yada yada yada. You know what I mean?
Ignorance,
Yeah.
lack of
Hashtag the
knowledge.
Truth Seekers Mastermind, our first pilot prelude to what we're doing right here. And we're going to have guests come on here as well, everyone. So it's a
Yep.
little bit more open right now for open dialogue, and we're getting there. We're just rolling this out to you right now to have a prelude to this conversation.
Yeah,
But we
because
can
this
have
could
a
go
part.
on.
Yeah, we can have a part two. We're going to have a part two to this. Yeah, part two is and part threes that come, right? But yeah, it's just a prelude to the hashtag the Truth Seekers Mastermind, and we will seek the truth. And our guests that come on there are going to be people
But
who
the
are
truth we
seeking the
tell.
truth. Yeah, and exposing the light on certain truths out here, not
Yeah.
conspiracy theories, but literally exposing the truth of knowing.
Y'all don't
Anyway,
want me going in. Y'all don't want me
yeah.
going in.
Yes, yeah. No, I mean, ultimately, yeah, ignorance. What was your question on ignorance? I'm sorry.
Well, that was for the audience, our lovely listeners right here, our
Oh, okay.
familians. What is ignorance? And now that we have, thank you to wonderful Lex, we have the definition, meaning lack of knowledge. So coming to understand that, I always took ignorance offensively. When someone called me ignorant, ignorant, that's something that you say to someone, like, almost as I took it in reference of calling somebody dumb. Like, if
Yeah.
you call me ignorant, you ignorant fool, you ignorant, whatever it is. I'm like, you're trying to offend me. I'm like, all right, what's up? What's up with it? Nah,
Yeah,
but
because people get upset. But people get upset over not knowing the answers. In ignorance,
yeah.
you're ignorant of knowing any answers. It doesn't, but they're like,
But
oh, I'm not ignorant, you know?
and that's the thing too. People are ignorant of the definition of ignorance. So we have to go and understand that before we even start to react. And so, what does it mean for it to have ignorant bliss, right? What does that even mean? Why can someone not knowing be ignorant? And the reality of it is, whenever you start to have your eyes closed, you can't see the ugly. And that's the truth. We go and we purposefully try to become ignorant. We purposefully try to close our eyes and blind ourselves with so many things, where we become blinded on purpose. We become trying to become ignorant because it's blissful. The less you actually have to worry about that reality of the situation that's actually going on,
Amen.
the less stress you feel you have. That's why people love to hide their traumas. Because it's like, if I'm not looking at it, if I don't know about it, it's not there. And they try to have happiness throughout it because people hate to confront.
Yeah,
People
that's
hate to
very true.
confront. And so whenever you're ignorant, how can you confront something that you don't know, right? You're happy. You're happy. That's why some kids, they grow up in a really happy household because they have not gone through the hardships other ones have. They grow up in a whole different environment. They are blissfully ignorant. And it's a good thing. It can be a good thing. To in that aspect, it can. But it's much greater to know what the situation is, so you can walk in the truth, so you can walk in right and wrong, walk righteously. So knowing comes along with, actually, it's a sense of power and responsibility that you hold whenever you know. It's a much more difficult decision once you know the consequences of whatever decision it may be, or whatever information you may have. It's something that really needs to be known, is knowledge, is uncovering these facts. That's why a lot of people out here that you may see go missing over these, like we were talking about, conspiracy theories, they go missing. Why? Because they knew. So ignorant bliss is actually something that a lot of governments very much understand, because once you have the people worrying, they have less faith in that government. They don't have that much control in that government. Once you start to open your eyes and see what's really going on, you realize, oh man, I can't trust these people. So you lose control because you start seeing. Your ignorance starts going away. That's where the ignorant bliss comes from. That's where the bliss and joy and happiness and carefree, nonchalant attitude, whatever it may be, comes from. Because a lot of people choose to be blind. Not only do they choose to, some people are just blind. They don't see it. They don't want to accept the facts. And that's in every single culture, every single place in the world. There is always ignorance. And right along with it, there's always ignorant bliss. Because there's some people that don't know what it's like going to jail and what's going on behind the walls with our brothers and sisters back there. They don't know what it's like to have someone human trafficked. They don't know what it's like to be molested as a child. They don't know what it's like to eat in such a poverty mindset, in a poverty state of being. They don't know what it's like to grow up in these things. So how can they fight for it if they don't have the compassion to have experienced it? It's blissful, but we all must go through these trials and tribulations so we can help others get out of it. Right? So sometimes, just like myself, sometimes you just got to run head first to danger. Okay, don't take that for face value. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let me put a disclaimer. I don't want nobody coming around saying,
Yeah, we don't need
"Hey,
that one in there.
yeah, I don't need nobody coming around saying,
Uh,
well, I jumped off
that is
cliff,
a
broke
big
my legs."
disclaimer. Big
Yeah,
disclaimer. Yeah.
Red Bull does not give you wings, everybody.
Stop. You are so
So-
ridiculous.
But it's like I had to do that. I had to run headfirst into danger so I could understand the severity of situations, so I could understand what it's like being behind bars. It's situations that my ignorance actually led me to being not so blissful. But with everything, even if you're having so much knowledge, you can still be happy, even
Yeah,
with so much things. Like
very true.
it's always a balance to everything.
It is.
So yeah, I mean, tell us about that ignorant bliss.
Well, one thing I will say is it's something that um sorry with my sniffles, but it's something that basically gets to a point. Now let's take to a montage here, just in case certain people are listening. Let's not let you down. Let's not let you down, because I know that's what's happening. And a lot of people are listening. You might be saying, Lex, heck, what you talk about?
Yeah.
What you talk about? But let's break it down. I had to do some little business here in the back end, but that was basically to what we're doing right now. Boom, keeping it transparent, baby. But it was, and Heck can go on here with me if he wants to elaborate. But we had a conversation with
Let's do it.
a couple people that were in their ignorant bliss. And
Let's give
unfortunately,
you a sneak peek of the behind the scenes.
yeah, the conversation thought for them were these, let's say these saturated individuals thought, or this individual at first, should I say, he had a plan in his mind that, you could always try to blend in. Now, let's go from our episode, The
Mhm.
Ugly Duckling. Now, let's say the ugly duckling was like, look, I know I'm a swan, but I still want to roll with the ducks. Quack, quack. At the
Quack
end of the
quack.
day, yeah, you can paint it yellow all you want that looks like the chickies. You can try to be whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be seen as the swan. So I
Mm.
looked at that and I'm like, we were the swan crew and we had little quails come in, because they're not even the size of ducks. They're just so little, like quails, the little teeny quail eggs. Those little cute little quails. I'm sorry.
They're like the size of full grown quails, or the size
Yeah,
of
full
little
grown quails. And
gooselings.
yeah, ultimately, I just want to put a shout out to say, look, we're sorry that it didn't work out for you on the journey that you thought that you wanted, but we knew it was more of something else, of your ignorant bliss, to where you wanted to just be compensated and look like a glorified person in this huge movement of something you weren't even dignified in. One, if you're going to know something and act like an expert on the subject, you have to know every layer to that onion. And you have to be willing to dig beyond it. But if you're going to be led by someone else's ignorant bliss, it's just dumb. Like, look, let's be real here, people. You cannot change someone's attitude. You cannot give them intelligence they're not willing to receive. You cannot, you can impress them, impress upon them, encourage them. Ignorant bliss is what they want. They choose not to be smart. I chose to ignore the signs of abuse. Or what was going on in my past platonic relation. I chose to let it be a learning lesson. If you're a juggernaut like that and you can handle it, like to where I knew what I was, but I didn't know the placement of what it held, it's different. I couldn't understand at the time, but God led me through understanding what I am now. That's why when I go Starseed, Indigo, Hey Yoka, Empath, boom, I'm not even playing. Like I literally, the God is like, I told you that, I embody it, and the human side gets mixed up between the attitudes or flare-ups or bad days or aches and pains we have, but spiritually I know where I'm at, and it's a level that no one can ever touch. Like everyone has their own uniqueness, but some of us just have that uniqueness of what they do. So don't hate on it. But the ignorant bliss of what I'm saying, heck, for that is, and for RDDC families, we're having a conversation here. I don't have time to entertain someone's thoughts like that. Like I don't have time. No te preocupes. Let's leave it alone. No te preocupes. Just leave it alone. I had a tongue twist right there. Okay. It means no worries for the rest of your days. I'm gonna say it's a problem-free philosophy, Hakuna Matata. No endorsement of Lion King, but that's what it was. And for some reason, Heck and I felt so much more easier to breathe once that ignorance was removed. It felt like, at least for me, it felt like it was just this person was heavy, they're heavy on Heck, wanting this consulting. And if you guys want any real estate advice or consulting, I'm saying Heck's got it. Go ahead, flip the switch at reborn.com and just be like, Heck, help me, Heck. Where's the reverse is hell? Whatever, you truth, you tell, whatever. So I'm like, whatever you want to put in the headline, but make sure it's proper and makes sense. If he has time now as Calendly, you'll see what happens and we'll work from there. But I would
We'll
just
work
say,
something out. We'll work something out.
yeah. Well, ultimately, I just feel like at the end of the day, the ignorant bliss, from my understanding, is I've dealt with that. Like some people just want to be dumb, and they want to be dumb and still hold you to a point to where they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that happening, sis or bro," or "I didn't know that was happening." But how much time do we have? We don't have time to sit there and coddle people and hold their hands anymore. As loving and overgiving as we are, like who has time for that? Nobody does. Like if they're gonna be ignorant, let them be in their own stupidity of bliss. Like let them be and let them suffer the consequences. No matter how much of a warning we give someone, it's up to them. It's free will. If God can't make us do it, then what makes us think we can make each other do it?
Amen.
You know? If that was the case, it wouldn't happen. So for me to just this part, I've dealt with ignorant bliss all around my life, but this recent one was it just shine a light. Like those who are meant to be will be, and they thought we were in Heck and I were in ignorant bliss to just believe that they were innocently coming in and wanted to do the right thing, but it was always money and the synopsis of it. We get it. Bills have to get paid, and it doesn't mean God's people shall perish. Like this, God has what do you say? The heavens like streets of gold. Why would God say streets of gold? He didn't have streets of diamonds. People glamorize diamonds here because they made it such a big thing in the 50s or 60s. But really, when you hear about stocks and bonds and banknotes, you hear about gold. You don't hear about diamonds. So if you hear about diamonds, it's very rare in between. They don't look for diamonds, they look for gold. So God has always intended Christ had to be poor in order for us to be rich. And then we were only rich within Christ. So at the end of the day, no matter what you want to, it's not going to be a disrespectful label, but Yeshua, the creator of all things and the son. It doesn't matter about names that you're putting out there because you're trying to say, well, I don't believe in it. It's not the point of that. Already there's a path of how you got here. So be grateful for it. I'm just saying at the end of the day, it's what you cannot change in someone else. I'm sorry. We cannot say we're sorry for every single thing, but I'm sorry for their ignorance that they lost such a wonderful opportunity to be a part of something bigger than them, but it wouldn't have lasted anyway because the ignorance was too deep. It would have took us months and months and months just to get this person halfway there and still know their motives. It's like
we're raising a child.
Yeah, when you smell a rotten fish in the room or you smell a dead animal or you smell a rat, it just is what it is. What do you have to do? If you want the stench to go, you got to remove the stench, right? Or remove yourself. If you want to have your car functioning, take it to get maintenance or put some gas and some oil in it. Same thing. Don't deal, hashtag Lex is telling you, don't deal with the ignorance and don't deal with the bliss that they get from it. And misery loves company. So when that ignorant bliss is sharing into you, you're already the misery and the company that it needs. You don't have to deal with that. That's my take on it.
And one thing I want to say to add to that, because absolutely, there's so many people that love to live in that ignorance, and that's going to be a whole different conversation too. We're going to talk about the cosign, right?
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, it's a very similar too. But one thing you have to understand also is continue with your guard up, not in the sense like don't let people in, but be yourself. Regardless, who you meet, regardless if someone's just a butthole. I'm gonna say butthole, I gotta watch my language.
Asshole.
Regardless.
I just said asshole. See what I'm saying?
Apples. Yeah. Regardless, whatever people are, whatever you want to see, people are always going to try to put their best foot forward, make that first impression really good. And a lot of people, they try to go, this is a very manipulative tendency, but a lot of people, they go and they don't show the full selves for the first couple times. And that's something that we really had to learn. Well, myself more recently. Lex, she's learned that a long time ago. But you have to continuously have your guard up in
Still learning.
seeing people's
Still learning.
fruits, in seeing people's fruits, in seeing their actions and the little things that they say, so you could be able to pick up on what their intentions truly are. There's always going to be something that comes out of somebody's mouth that you may catch and say, that doesn't sit right with me. Something about that just doesn't sit right with me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of foundation that we need to have, is just, hey, if you see those signs, be careful. Those are warning signs. God allows people to speak to an extent. It's all free will, right? But he allows people to speak to an extent to where they just show their butt, really. That's to anyone, even to yourself. If you're over here, you got bad intentions, you're talking to somebody, you're going to show your butt one way or the other. There's always going to be an instance where what happens in the darkness will come to the light.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time. That is inevitable. It's a spiritual law, the same thing as you reap what you sow. What a lot of people love to call karma. You reap what you sow. If you're sowing bad fruits, bad seeds, you will get bad fruits, bad
That's
trees.
true. That is so true.
You cannot expect any different.
Please listen to this special announcement. For the past few months, our DDC and Flip the Switch have been working on something amazing for your spiritual, mental, and emotional growth that can be brought into your physical worlds. And that is the FDS Think and Grow Rich Execution Style Masterclass, which doors are now open. Not only will you gain the clarity, insight, and blueprint form of what you need, along with the enlightenment you've been waiting for, but we are also rewarding you beyond your wildest dreams. That is definitely right. Rewarding you for not only taking the first step into creating a new life and new vision for yourselves and those connected to you, but also rewarding you with an excursion to live out your new hopes and dreams, to rewrite the chapters from your newfound level of life, all while relaxing and enjoying the moment where someone actually spoils you for you taking the initiative to change the game upon your own journey. So, if you want to find out more, we'll have a link provided on all our broadcast channels as well as our blog spot and www.realdoubledosechannel.com, so you can get all the insights on how to sign up and get started today. And if you're a business influencer, entrepreneur, or anything under the sun that serves others, you might also want to check this out as well. So you can offer these special packages to give to your clients, friends, customers, students, and loved ones. We'll see you on the flip side. And now back to your favorite show with the RDDC's Double Dose wonderful broadcast channel.
Because if you go, you're over here, boom, someone asks you for money, you just got your tax return, right? For example, somebody comes, asks you for money, and you just, oh no, you look down on them. I 100% guarantee you will be in the similar position, and you will be looked down on the same way you look down on them. I
That was deep.
guarantee it. It's
That was deep.
always a happening that happens, and don't even look at yourself of thinking like that, thinking, but you're gonna feel better once you start giving, once you start being abundant in how much you have to give, because you have the life in Christ, because you have eternal life, because that's where the wealth is, right? Like you were talking about the gold on the streets, that's where the wealth is. This life is really temporary. Whenever you start seeing people about wanting to dominate this world for their own selfish ambitions because they want to splurge in all the glory of the world, oh, that should tell you their fruits right there.
Oh yeah.
That should tell you who they are. They want the devil's world. And one of the things that I had seen, this, just give you a little, let me go into detail. Let me go into a little bit of detail. The one thing that this certain individual said was, I'm tired of letting devil worshippers have the world. God's people need to take the world because that's who he created it for. And it didn't sit right with me because it's like, if you are God's people, you understand that this world is no more in a couple thousand years, in a couple hundred years, even maybe even a couple decades. You never
That's
know.
true.
This
Hmm.
world is going to poop, really. It was made
Oh, it's
good
going to
once upon a
poop. I
time.
like that. I like that. I was wondering where you were going. I was wondering where you were going with it. You said poop. All right, we got you.
Yeah, I catch myself really good.
It's going to
I got
it's
self
going
discipline.
to shite schnitzels. There you go.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah. I
better
don't
name
know if
for it.
that's a country. If it is, and you're listening to it from there, well, excuse us, but
No, I don't think so. That was something made up, but I hope
you never know.
I know that no, not made up because they have shite. They say it's shite. It's a bunch of shites. I've heard that in movies, and then I heard schnitzels. I don't know if it's Germany or where, with some really good. I forgot what they call the brew or whatever. But
The
hey,
brute.
I've always wanted to try some German schnitzels. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, no shade, but
Sounds good.
we had to think of a pretty name to put on top of it since we couldn't say the
The oogie,
the ooginess.
ooginess.
Yeah, this
But
has
yeah, like
been,
it's whenever you start looking at that, whenever you start seeing, okay, well, this person, they're telling you their desires.
yeah.
That's what you got to start looking at. People tell you their desires. I'm telling you what I want, even if they hint at it. And that's what a lot of females, they're very blind to that too. They're very blind to their best friend. Well, right, they got a guy best friend. Oh, he doesn't see me like that. Ignorant bliss, right? Ignorant bliss. They're gonna do things, little hints that they're gonna drop to let you know if they had the opportunity to be with you, they would be with you.
Oh yeah. That's
They they
oh, you know that one. That's for
they're
sure.
playing safety. They're playing safety.
And you know
Like
what?
there's so much
Honestly,
instances. People tell you their desires, right?
yeah, they do. They tell you their desires, but at the same time, they don't never live out their desires. So
Yeah,
I feel like
absolutely.
at the end of the day, don't spend your time on making anyone else intelligent on how they should treat you, behave, or just even modify their life. They're going to do what they want to do regardless. And no matter how
Yeah.
much you try to be there and support them, make sure you're not draining yourself dry just so someone else can live the way that you should be feeling and living. That's just wrong. So to those individuals who know who you are, I'm sorry for you, that you couldn't see the forest from the trees and move forward with a opportunity of a lifetime. That would have been for you to do what you claim that you were about. But really, it really wasn't what you claimed to be about, because if you were, you wouldn't have been about you. You wouldn't have been about what you wanted and what you had to do and what was going on. You wouldn't let someone else control and manipulate the situation, no matter how powerful that poison quote might be. If you claim to have something that dilutes and kills every poison out here and gives you the light of the world, you would not see that other person's darkness as anything tempting. You're still bound by fleshly chains that come at a different magnitude, because this right here, you're willing to surrender your commitment to the purpose of moving the movement to getting to a light, the light of the world and the life of the world that's not even of the world, for your comfortability. So the only ignorant bliss that you'll ever be in is the ignorance that you continue to live in. That's my take on it. You want to cap us on what's your take on it before we get to this wonderful, sweet, and short segment?
Yeah, I mean that's what it is, and to those individuals, I know who they are. Hey, I hope my consulting wasn't me casting pearls to swine, right?
Yeah, really. You should send a
On
bill. I've been
those,
telling heck everybody he should be sending. He could have sent at least a minimal of $6,500 minimal. I'm saying like maybe even 8,000 at this point. Legally, he could, for consulting services, and that person knows that. Don't be surprised if you
that could
have
have
a
been a
little
little more
postcard come.
actually.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying from what I could see from us not me not being able to log it in there. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Hey, y'all know what to do.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed our conversational ensemble. Once again, this is, and I wanted to put a little poon June on it, right? I don't know if that's a word, but I'm saying it. This is hashtag always going to be hashtag RDC. And in the words of Heck versus Hell, where the truth he tells, is going to be
We
R double DC, or however he says it his
are
famous
double
way.
DC.
Yeah. We wanted to have this conversation with y'all, and hopefully we'll be able to invite you from our TikTok platform and our different other ones that we're doing. If we do the Zoom lives on different airings platforms, we'll invite you to come on there and maybe share some of your thoughts in a conversation or have a on the spot interview style. I know that worked before in the past when we did lives via audio. So let's see what that brings us. But on the other tune, we're going to be calling this officially hashtag the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance. All right. So I know it's long, but the TSMA from moving forward, moving on, is the
Moving on.
TSMA. And I thought about that. The Mastermind Alliance is really beautiful because it comes together with the whole coalition of what we're trying to put together. And I didn't want to just say mastermind or alliance. It's a Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance. Long as it may be, it's beautiful. And it's not super bad, actually, because it defines exactly the gravity that we have. And we'll be having the HVH drop down tab menu so you can get to know Hector more on the realdoubledosechannel.com. That's realdoubledosechannel.com. And as well as when we have more episodes airing on the official moving and some of the display, we'll be having that on the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance. That's going to be open for us and the public to come on in and have their conversation of the truth seeking mastermind and the alliance that they want to share as well.
Yeah, we want to invite some testimonies on too, you know? Your
Yeah. Well,
experience.
I mean, testimonies are good to have, but this right here is about people who are knowledge seekers, the ones who are getting on their stuff. I'm just going to shout out there to wonderful people like, Dr. Levi, or I think it's Lovey, Elias. I want to shout out there to people, even to their journey of getting the things out there that they need to. Hashtag, Pastor or Reverend Eric Thomas, and people know him as ET, the hip hop preacher. Just different ones out there who are trying to drop those things out there, who are really doing what they have to do, as well as I do. Billy Carson, he's phenomenal in a lot of ways. But it's just people out here who are trying to do stuff. I want to bring them on to where they have a heaviness on what they're about and getting down to the truth seeking. It's and the review and as far as the revelations, like Hector was saying, we could have all you come on who want to go down this journey or just be a part of it. It's cool to have you be an ear, to where you can share that, those what do you call those? I'm not reviews. You share the, what is it called? Testimony. Help me out here.
Oh, sorry, I don't know that was a real question.
Okay, you're funny. I'm trying to burn out a little bit right now from my previous tier section. So I just want to say we're going to have them on the testimonies on how it's changed their life, how it's enlightened their lives, and many, many more. But until then, we love you. You're amazing. All right, Heck, you know what I'm saying? I know you got to go back on your own show here, but thank you for being on our show, this platform for everyone who wants to seek the truth in a mastermind alliance. Absolutely. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So eventually we're going to be having the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance.com, and we'll have that going on, and maybe we'll have some cool apparel, some hats, and different stuff you can check out up there. Support the movement along with Sea Hearts, and it's going to be good too because even from our brothers and sisters behind the walls, they're going to be able to come on there and speak about their truth seeking, which would probably be deeper on some levels, not having all the distractions of the outside world on steroids. So we'll see what's going on with that. And everyone, every level to everyone on what level they are. But yeah, without further ado, Heck, you want to say we'll talk to you soon, or you want me to close it out?
Close it out. We'll
right.
love you. Talk to you soon.
Oh, don't sound too enthusiastic. Don't sound too enthusiastic.
No,
all right.
Because I can't sound enthusiastic when I'm leaving, my family.
I know you're sad. No, it's okay. Hey, I don't want to leave you either. You all made me feel better. Heck, definitely put on that truth we tell, and this right here made me feel a lot better. And you have no idea how down. If I told you the details of that, it's probably going to have to be something in the Illumination book that's coming out. I know I hear the raving for it, but it'll be something. It's going to be revelations that I have to take on a journey in the desolate area. I cannot be around humans on that level when I'm going through this. It's going to be a power so bright that I don't even know what's going to happen within those walls. I'm excited, but I'm a little anxious. So it's gonna be fun. All right. Without further ado, be the
Without
change,
further
feel the
ado.
passion, embrace the power of the spirit. Remember to keep on moving forward. Hashtag ignorant bliss. All right. The Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance preface conversation. Preface, because we don't know what this is all the way, but we wanted to give you kind of an update and a little part one snippet on what's going to go on with this pilot that we're kind of conversating with right now with you all, because we do love you and we love your support. Every download, every like, every whatever you give, whatever played, it's fine. It's beautiful. And I couldn't ask for anything. Well, actually, I could ask for more, but not less. To be there and share your stories with us and just give us more love and we'll love you back. But yeah, be the change, feel the passion, embrace the power of the spirit. Remember to keep on strong. Check us out at www.realwchannel.com. And we haven't forgot, Angela is on the www.spiritandmindelevation.com. We got notification that you all are hitting up that site like crazy as well. And we're like, you know what? You need to bounce over to both sites. So we need to put something on there for the DDC for you to have that area. And then we need to also, we didn't think about that on that deep level. We do have a linking, but it didn't go to that deep level, but we're going to also have our updates showing on Spirit and Mind Elevation, because we realize, especially through Google, you all be hitting up spiritandmindelevation.com. So I just wanted to put that in as a last memo. We'll see you on the flip side. We love you. You're amazing. And thank you for tuning in and being supportive, our family. And we'll be back with you very, very, very soon.